Offshore Radio Trust. Next on the oldest and moldiest hour, Clockwork Coconuts, in association with Jolly Jack Novelty Exploding Dingo Babbers, not so proudly present an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the hit science fiction audio drama, The Lawrence Pendlebury Adventures. I'm sorry, that should have read shit science fiction audio drama. Someone just scrubbed the S out with a wax crane.
Just over a century ago, the Lawrence Pendlebury Audio Adventures were created. Within 3 minutes of their conception, they had attracted the attention of the FBI, MI6, and Operation Huge, or as the latter was known back in those pre-Savile years, Johnny Lydon. Unfortunately, the series didn't attract the attention of any actual listeners. Nonetheless, because of its complicated financial arrangements, Clockwork Coconuts, formerly known as Messy Productions by the Inland Revenue, grew increasingly wealthy. We travelled to the headquarters of Balzac Fonseca in Panama to talk to George Gideon Osborne, the company's personal accountant, to find out how.
Simple's in it. It's so straightforward that even a merchant banker stoned off his bonds couldn't make a pig's ear of it, was the pity as far as Dave's concerned. What we do is we set up an overseas trust on your behalf, see, and give it some fancy handles, such as the Mother Teresa Little Orphans What Got Polio Trust. Then you can transfer as much longer as you want, non-dare tributing. When you need your cash, you just draw it out again without spending out on business. All depends on how much tax you want to avoid, me old geezer. What your moral line and the sewage sort of thing.
So, how much is Clockwork Coconuts actually worth?
That's a bit personable, innit? We don't go throwing that sort of information around Willie Whitelaw, me crinkle carrot. But rest assured, Jimmy Carr, Gary Barlow, half the bleeding staff of the BBC, and the entire Tory cabinet are in on it. Guaranteed, watertight discretion, much like Anne Wickham's Gimpsy.
Surely the Exchequer must take a dim view of this.
Those missiles just what I tell them, mate. Otherwise I send Boris in with his Black & Decker out, and I ain't talking about his Todger either. Besides, it's all above board, Dr. Shipman shape. One of those loopholes what I said I'd closed before the election, but conveniently never got round to. Well, you gotta help your mates out, for a fee, of course. How much was you thinking of investing?
I'm not. I'm recording a documentary. That's what the microphone's for.
All right, me old grease monkey. Thought it was a dildo for after we'd had our scones. Oh, in that case, you'd better turn it off and leave my lavatory immediately.
Lawrence Pendlebury Confidential. A genital worse and all behind-the-scenes documentary focusing on the audio dramas of Clockwork.
Made with the kind cooperation of the Clockwork Coconut legal staff, what haven't tampered with any recordings or nothing, or made any threats with a kitchen knife towards the producer's cat, or now.
In Guthrie Jockstrap in the Lancashire harbour town of Fleetwood.
This is number an ordinary fisherman's cottage in most respects, except that this is the home of Clockwork Coconuts, where for the last century the Lawrence Pendlebury Adventures have been misproduced. Unfortunately, we were told to bugger off by the receptionist, so instead, let's have a word with Mrs. Coalscuttle, next door.
That is disgusting. You wouldn't believe the noises that I hear coming from their kitchen. Ducks quacking, sheep orgasming, ming, pet pots sticking their all sorts of each other's exhaust pipes. There's people in inflated rubber suits, what look like the Michelin Man playing Othello, being led in and out on chains at all hours. And David Mellor, I've written to Wyborough Council, but they just sent me a letter back with the mayor's massive bum smear on it.
Offshore Radio Trust. Time for an advert break.
New from the Jolly Jack prosthetic range. Ian Duncan Smith detachable donuts for the conservative on the run. But don't take our testimonials for it.
As a compassionate Tory career politician with a quiet voice, life was a struggle. I was too scared to stand up to my boss. Every day had become a burden on my fragile conscience, as I was forced by the cruel chief whip to devise ever deeper cuts to the welfare system, invent increasingly outlandish stories about claimants welcoming having their income stopped, torture cripples, and force immigrants into gas chambers. Then I bought a pair of Jolly Jack detachable donuts. Now I have the confidence to say whatever I like, and I don't give a damn. That's why I'm backing Boris for the tyrant of New Great Britain.
Also available, the Ian Duncan Smith range of genuine crocodile tears.
One of the most important ingredients of any audio drama is the sound effects. Are the sound effects is? At Clockwork Coconuts, these are generated on-screen by Arthur Spadge, the Foley artist. Here we find him in his asbestos suit, working on the latest episode. Arthur, could you talk us through the process?
Right you are, me old wrinkled knackersack. For this scene, we need the sound of a toilet flushing every time Cameron the Merciless opens his gob. So we've rigged up this bucket of vanishing cream, an old cabbage, and a squeaky balloon, Ethel Robinson fashion. The effect is quite convincing. There's still a couple of problems to iron out. However, over here... That's the sound an hamster would make if it was guillotined. It's not part of the plot, but we like to stick these details into the background for a laugh.
How did you generate it?
Well, we got this hamster, right, and stuck his head in a cigar cutter.
What's this fearsome device that resembles an Iron Maiden with leather straps and feather dusters sticking out of the top? Presumably this produces the distinctive yet instantly familiar sound made by the twatter's engine.
Nah, that's for when Jeremy Hunt drops in for afternoon tea.
Despite appearances, or whatever the audio version of appearances would be, another vital component in the Lawrence Pendlebury Adventures is the script. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be any good, otherwise the company would have gone bankrupt back in 1927. Here, in the outside lavatory at the rear of the Clockwork Coconut Studios, Brian Hughes, chief and, indeed, only script editor, is busily working on the next installment, whilst apparently chained to the wall. Mr. Hughes, I notice you have a row of empty jam jars on the shelf behind you, filled with bits of scribbled-on paper.
Mine. Brian's idea jars, Davies. They're all mine. Not for grubby boys with prying hands like you.
Obviously, this is some sort of sophisticated personal aid memoir. How exactly does it work?
This jar full of fat people names. Famous fatties. This jar full of insults. Funny. Ha ha. This jar full of film titles. Take paper from each jar. Put them together. Make scripts.
And that's how you formulate the ideas for each episode, is it?
Brian's jars know too much. Bad man mustn't hurt poor Brian. Brian, good boy. No fondle sheep now. Get out.
What would Lawrence Pendlebury's audio adventures be without the familiar cast of specialist voice actors, drunkenly handpicked from a copy of Variety magazine's cleaner's supplement pinned to the darts board? We've come to the Baked Bean Cafe on North Albert Street to meet some of the rebellious band of thespians. Boys, who you call lesbians? You're not muff divers?
I am.
Harry Black, you're undoubtedly the longest-serving member, pardon my French and gratuitous John Holmes innuendo, member of the cast, clocking up a staggering 98 years in the belligerent role of Polly Jenkins. Would you care to share with us some of the memories you have from when audio dramas were recorded in black and white?
Eh? Speak up. There's a dormouse asleep in my ear trumpet.
Terry Sedgwick, because you're Antipodean and on prescription medication because of it, you receive these scripts in advance. It must be exciting knowing what plot twists to expect before anybody else does.
What bloody plots? These damn Lawrence Paddlepop scripts never make sense. They're just glued together insults on crinkled scraps of paper covered in jam smears. Cheap bastards. That bloody executive committee's more corrupt than Rolf Harris's booking agent. Seriously, look at the state of this coffee. Somebody's been putting bromide in it again.
Excuse me, my name's Carol Porter. I've been appearing in this rubbish since the second ever episode back in 1914. Although I probably wouldn't have been in it at all if it wasn't for the photographs that the executive board kept hidden in the Clockwork Coconut safe along with my Heidi costume.
Oh, God. Will somebody get me a mop and wet me knickers again?
Offshore Radio Trust, where the disproportionate amount of adverts tends to ruin the otherwise god-awful programmes.
Available soon from Jolly Jack Independent Publishers. How to get ahead in television once you've retired from the Tory party. Learn the secrets of becoming an overpaid presenter, pretending to be interested in train journeys. Discover how to worm your way into the closed shop of the BBC. Find out the truth about the old school tie, and how a simple manoeuvre of the thumb during a handshake can pay financial dividends beyond most people's wildest dreams. Now available through the National Executive for the Promotion of Tories into State-Controlled Media, or nepotism for short.
And this is where the real magic happens. The Clockwork Coconut Special Effects Workshop tucked away in the attic of number 99 behind Fleetwood Mount. George Fondlebum, I have been informed that you're the original mastermind behind the most evil race of mutants in the galaxy, the Pepperpots.
Leave me alone. I never done nothing.
What surprises me is that the Pepperpots are genuine physical objects, rather than somebody prattling about with an antique voice modulator, even if they are just rusty dustbin with head whisks and sink plungers attached, and apparently a vibrating rabbit deluxe.
Well, I admit it. It's sellotaped to the underside of me desk, and I've done in the cashier and all. He's buried under patio with Lord Lucan.
Offshore Radio Trust.
I've been inserting jingles at random since 1924.
What's that evil bastard stench? Take that pepper pot out of your
Get your
ass.
dick out me here, you colossal pervert. I don't care if you're the mayor of London.
Drink good. Smoke good. Sheep
Good.
We have been granted exclusive access to the recording studio, or the kitchen, as the staff call it, where the cast are currently in rehearsal for an, as yet, unpublished episode. Carol Porter, what exactly is going on in this scene?
I've no idea. We haven't started the rehearsal yet.
Don't panic whether or not I can see the producer's office. If we can just steer this bloody telephone box across the living room before your John Thomas snaps, we shall be okay.
Offshore Radio Trust.
It's time for another annoying advert.
Hello, Debbie. Oh dear, you do look frumpy. I've seen more energetic toads in a Belgian restaurant.
Yes, I'm more run down than a hedgehog in Spellmine. My husband's been beating me ever since I volunteered for that hardcore porno produced by the Women's Institute for their annual fundraiser. You know the one, Jam Rags in Jerusalem.
I think you need to change your brand of coffee.
Invigorate your spirit and cleanse your soul with the all-new 100% sawdust Cardinal Pell's Church of the Holy Sepulchre coffee. The Cardinal Pell range contains dried bishop spunk and powdered nuns' winnets gathered from the confession boxes of Catholic girls' schools all over Italy. It's the next best tonic to the body of Christ, but considerably cheaper.
It's almost midnight, and I'm here with no job too small as of the Kensington Road Gang, Great Eccleston branch, to see how the incidental music for the Lawrence Pendlebury Adventures is produced. This is Kevin MacLeod's private music studio, but I can't see much of an orchestra. In fact, I can't see much of anything in this inky blackness.
Watch where you going, you scabby nonce. You'll have the rozzers onto us.
I think I've broken my kneecap, and there's something stuck up my ass. It's either a baton or a pepper pot's eye stalk. Why are we wearing balaclavas?
Health and safety, innit? Grab those master tapes behind you and stuff 'em up your jersey. I'll have a gander in safe. Ah, fuck the pigs. Well, I'm not touched in a request to David Cameron's old games mistress neither. Get whatever you can and I'll let off the street bombs to put Anguilla off the scent.
One aspect of the production of audio dramas that more often than not gets overlooked is the work of the after effects specialist. In the case of Clockwork Coconuts, that would be Norman Stitcher-Salk, who we now find in his editing booth beneath the kitchen sink. Norman, what exactly does your expertise entail?
Well, Guthrie, me old bearded tit. I generally tidies up the recordings, like, about a bit of spin on the voices, that sort of thing. And take this one, for example, from a previously, if not fortuitously, unreleased episode. Now, after we've added a bit of anti-static filter.
Forsooth, my liege, where doth the rosy-fingered dawn take you?
To yonder barn, kind sir, whereby to sport in merry haymaking.
Right, now this is that Hughes bloke what plays the Pendlebury pillar before we add Dolby.
Come here, Echo Sheep. Give Uncle Brian a great big tiff.
And this is him afterwards.
Calm down, ladies. It's only an advanced semi-automatic plasma gun, amazingly inexpensive and available from most good hardware stores and branches of boots in the year 2313 in my pocket.
Offshore Radio Trust.
Where the interruptions are no doubt really starting to piss the listener off by now.
Don't forget, listeners, to visit the Jolly Jack bargain store on All Hallows Road, Bispam. Previously the tuck shop for Montgomery High. There's all manner of bargains inside, such as the Ian Duncan Smith cripple poking stick, the Lembit OPEC Everyone Deserves a Cheeky Girl range of t-shirts, we've got thousands of seconds in stock, the Steve Irwin inflatable manta ray Lilo, and the David Cameron Pig in a Poke board game. Official opening this Saturday by the Offshore Radio Trust Commandant Herr Himmler.
And so we reach the final destination of our all-too-brief tour of the Clockwork Coconut Studios, here at the Executive Committee Suite where all the major decisions concerning future productions are taken. Let's take a look inside.
Yeah, Lord Sully, lend us a favour to snort this baking powder, nudge, nudge.
There you go, Lord. Come on, me old crone dome. We're as slight as back a scabby prostitute. The one in the biker jacket for preference.
Look at that Boris is eating fried eggs off that nude woman's bastard.
We've made it, Waverley. Where's the producer? Oi, Michael Winner, give us your second episode before I let go of the wave theory's undercarriage here and wedge your corpulent head up me crack.
What sport, hey, Gamma? Hand me that 12 bore. Stop swinging about, you grotty Edwardian pleb.